Very urgent. Your soulmate can't hold back anymore. They're about to reveal what they've decided about you. My beloved child, something has shifted in a way your heart may already be sensing, because the person connected to you has reached a point where holding everything inside no longer feels possible. For so long, they have carried thoughts about you that they could never fully explain, replaying memories, imagining conversations, and wondering what would happen if they finally stopped hiding what they truly wanted. But now, a decision has formed inside them, and this is where everything begins to change. Don't skip, because what they have decided is not a small temporary feeling. Something happened within them that made them look at this connection differently, and suddenly all the hesitation that once controlled them began losing its power. They started realizing that certain people enter your life and disappear from your thoughts, while one person remains there no matter how much time passes. And somehow, you became that person. They tried distracting themselves. They tried convincing themselves that they needed more time. Yet every quiet moment brought their thoughts directly back to you. Stay till the end, because the most surprising part is not simply what they feel, it is what those feelings have pushed them to decide. There is something they have wanted to reveal, something they have almost said before, only to stop themselves at the final moment. But this time feels different. This time they are tired of leaving important words unspoken. Something huge is waiting for you, and the truth behind their final decision may completely change the way you understand everything that has happened between you. There is another layer to this that you need to hear, because their decision did not appear overnight. It was built through countless little moments when they realized your presence had affected them more deeply than they expected. Maybe it was something you said that stayed in their mind. Maybe it was the way you made them feel understood without even trying. Maybe it was simply the realization that whenever they imagined the person they genuinely wanted beside them during meaningful moments, your face kept appearing. And then came the realization they could no longer ignore. Continuing to hide their feelings could mean losing the opportunity to discover what this connection could actually become. Don't skip, because this is where their private thoughts became a real decision. They began asking themselves one powerful question: what if I finally stop running from what my heart has been trying to tell me? That question changed everything. Suddenly, they were no longer thinking only about the past. They started thinking about what could happen next. They imagined speaking honestly to you. They imagined removing the uncertainty. They imagined finally letting you know that behind their silence was a person trying to gather enough courage to reveal something meaningful. Stay till the end, because there is one specific truth they have finally accepted about you, and once they accepted it, going back to pretending became almost impossible. They realized that what they feel cannot simply be replaced by another distraction. Your connection has left an imprint on them, and now they want clarity instead of endless wondering. Something huge is waiting for you, because the decision forming inside them is moving from thought toward action. And now comes the revelation they have been holding back. They have decided they do not want uncertainty to write the ending of this story. They want the truth to have a chance. They want you to understand that their silence was never as empty as it may have appeared. Behind it were questions, emotions, memories, and words they repeatedly rehearsed but never delivered. Yet something inside them has finally changed. They are reaching the point where saying nothing feels harder than finally revealing what has been hidden. Don't skip, because their next move could be the moment that turns everything you thought you knew upside down. They may approach differently than you expect. It could begin subtly, with a conversation, a sincere message, or a small opening that carries a much bigger meaning underneath. But behind that opening is the decision. They want to stop pretending this connection means nothing to them. Stay till the end, because what comes after that decision is even more surprising. They are not only thinking about telling you how they feel, they are thinking about what becomes possible once you finally know. That is the once-in-a-lifetime shift here. The person who kept everything locked behind hesitation is beginning to imagine a future where there is no need to hide. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next chapter is not about guessing what they feel anymore. It is about what happens when they finally choose to reveal it, and the one thing they are preparing to say could explain why they could never completely let this connection go. Something has changed inside your soulmate, and this time they cannot simply push the feeling away. The decision they made about you has started becoming stronger every time they imagine what could happen if they remain silent. They have been thinking about the moments when they almost reached out, almost revealed everything, almost allowed you to see the truth behind their hesitation, but something always stopped them. Now that invisible wall is beginning to disappear. Don't skip, because the next realization is exactly what pushed them toward this powerful decision. They suddenly understood that waiting for the perfect moment could mean waiting forever, and they no longer want fear or uncertainty deciding what happens between you. They want to know what is possible when honesty finally replaces silence. Stay till the end, because what they are preparing is bigger than a simple conversation. Something huge is waiting for you. Deep inside, they have accepted that you are not someone they can casually forget and move beyond. Whenever they tried to imagine closing this chapter, something inside them resisted. Whenever they pictured their future, somehow the unanswered questions about you remained. And now they have made themselves a promise. Before they allow this connection to become another unfinished story, they are going to reveal what they have truly decided. But here is the surprising part: they have not only been thinking about what they will say, they have been imagining how you might respond when you finally hear it. They wonder whether you will be surprised, whether you already sense their hidden feelings, or whether their revelation will completely change your understanding of their past behavior. Don't skip, because there is one thought that keeps returning to them: what if this person has been waiting for honesty from me too? That possibility has given them a completely different kind of courage. They are realizing that sometimes one sincere moment can change the direction of an entire connection. And that is exactly why their next move matters so much. They are preparing to stop giving you mixed signals and finally make their intentions clearer. They want you to understand why they became distant at certain moments, why they sometimes seemed ready to speak and then pulled back, and why your presence continued to matter even when nothing was being said. Stay till the end, because the biggest revelation is still ahead. Something huge is waiting for you, and it connects directly to the future they have secretly imagined. They have pictured what it would feel like to have you genuinely included in their life, not as a question they keep thinking about, but as someone they can openly appreciate, understand, and choose. And this is where their decision becomes impossible to ignore. Your soulmate is beginning to choose clarity over hesitation. They are tired of wondering what could have happened if they had simply been brave enough to speak. They do not want another day, another week, another meaningful moment to pass while the most important truth remains hidden. Don't skip, because what they are preparing to reveal could explain everything that once confused you. Their quietness was not always a lack of feeling. Sometimes it was the opposite. They were trying to understand feelings that had become stronger than they expected. And now they have reached a conclusion. Whatever happens after they speak, they would rather know the truth than spend forever wondering. Stay till the end, because this is only the beginning of what they have decided. Something huge is waiting for you. They are moving closer to the moment when their private decision becomes something you can finally see, and when that moment arrives, their words may be surprisingly simple, but the meaning behind them will be enormous. Because what they truly want to tell you is not merely that you crossed their mind. They want you to know that after everything they considered, every possibility they questioned, and every emotion they tried to understand, there is one possibility they cannot stop returning to, choosing you and finally discovering where this connection could lead. What your soulmate realized next changed the entire direction of their thoughts, because they suddenly understood that this connection was never only about the moments you shared. It was about how those moments continued living inside them afterward. Your words stayed with them. Your energy stayed with them. Even the smallest memories began carrying a meaning they had not noticed before, and then one quiet realization arrived. They were no longer asking themselves whether you mattered. They were asking themselves what they were going to do about how much you mattered. Don't skip, because this is where everything becomes more intense. They began looking back at every time they held themselves back, every opportunity they allowed to pass, and every sentence they wanted to say but kept inside. Something huge is waiting for you, because all those unfinished moments have now created one powerful desire inside them, to finally stop leaving this connection unanswered. Stay till the end, because they have reached a point where pretending everything is ordinary no longer feels possible. They know something meaningful exists here, and instead of endlessly analyzing it, they are preparing to face it. The shocking part is that their biggest concern is no longer rejection or uncertainty. Their biggest concern has become the possibility of never telling you the truth at all. That thought affected them deeply. It made them realize that sometimes the greatest opportunity arrives disguised as a moment requiring courage, and they are beginning to believe that you could be that opportunity. Then something even more surprising happened inside their heart. They started imagining the exact moment when there would be nothing left hidden between you. Imagine the weight of months of questions suddenly disappearing. Imagine finally understanding why certain moments felt unusually meaningful, why certain conversations remained unforgettable, and why neither time nor distance completely removed this connection from their thoughts. Don't skip, because there is a revelation underneath all of this that they have barely admitted even to themselves. They have started wondering whether meeting you changed what they actually want from love and companionship. Before you, they may have believed they knew exactly what kind of person belonged in their future. But your presence challenged that picture. You showed them that a meaningful connection is not always something perfectly planned. It can arrive unexpectedly and slowly become impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Their decision is becoming more specific now. They do not simply want to reveal that they have feelings. They want to reveal that those feelings made them reconsider what they want next. They want to know you beyond assumptions. They want conversations without hidden meanings. They want to discover whether the connection they have privately treasured could become something genuine when both people finally understand what is happening, and now their thoughts have reached the point they once tried desperately to avoid. They know they must eventually choose between remaining silent and taking one sincere step toward you. This time, silence is losing. Don't skip, because the reason is powerful. They finally realized that if they keep waiting, they could spend years wondering what one honest conversation might have changed. They do not want that question following them into the future. They want an answer. They want clarity. Most importantly, they want you to know that whatever you may have assumed about their distance or hesitation, there was always more happening beneath the surface. Stay till the end, because their next move carries the revelation that could connect every missing piece. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has reached a decision that feels completely different from everything before it. When the right opening appears, they intend to stop hiding behind uncertainty and let you see their real intentions. And there is one final detail they have not revealed yet, the reason they chose this moment to change. Something recently became clear to them about you, something that made waiting feel completely different than it did before. Once they understood it, their decision became stronger. Now the question is no longer whether they will continue thinking about you. The real question is what they are preparing to do with everything they finally understand. Now the hidden reason behind their sudden change is beginning to surface, and it is far more meaningful than they expected. Your soulmate realized that every time they imagined completely moving forward without ever revealing the truth to you, something felt unfinished. Not because they wanted to force an outcome, but because they knew they had never given honesty a real chance. That realization became impossible to ignore. Don't skip, because this is where their final decision becomes clearer. They have stopped asking, "Should I say something?" and started asking, "How do I finally say what I have been holding back?" That difference is enormous. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have been quietly organizing their thoughts, separating temporary emotion from what has remained consistent, and one truth keeps surviving every question: you still matter to them. More than they expected. More than they planned. And perhaps more than they were once ready to admit. They are beginning to understand that the strongest connections are sometimes the ones that keep returning to your heart even after you have tried to explain them away. That is why their next move could surprise you. It may not arrive with dramatic words. It may begin with something simple, sincere, and unmistakably different. A conversation where they finally stop hiding behind vague signals and allow you to see what has actually been happening inside them. But there is something they discovered while thinking about you that changed their perspective completely. They realized they were remembering not only the biggest moments, but tiny details they never expected to keep, the way a conversation made them feel, something you once said without realizing its importance, or a moment when your presence brought them a sense of comfort they could not easily explain. Don't skip, because those details became the evidence they could no longer dismiss. This was not simply curiosity. You had become emotionally significant to them. And once they admitted that, another once-in-a-lifetime realization followed. Maybe the connection they kept questioning was actually something worth exploring instead of something they should keep avoiding. Stay till the end, because the decision they made after this realization could become the turning point. Something huge is waiting for you. They decided that when they finally speak, they do not want to hide behind half-truths anymore. They want to be genuine about what you have meant to them and why they could never completely remove you from their thoughts. They know they cannot control what happens afterward, but they can control whether they finally show up with honesty. And strangely, that has given them peace. The uncertainty that once made them retreat is slowly becoming the very reason they want to move forward. And here comes the part they have been most hesitant to admit. somewhere inside their private vision of the future, they have already imagined you there. Not as a fantasy they are guaranteed to receive, but as a possibility they genuinely want to understand. Don't skip, because their decision is moving closer to action. They are no longer satisfied with silently wondering whether you feel something too. They want clarity, and they know clarity can only begin when somebody becomes brave enough to speak first. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation goes even deeper. They have started thinking about what they would say if they had only one opportunity to be completely honest with you. And after replaying that imaginary conversation again and again, one message keeps rising above everything else: I don't want to leave this unfinished. That is the heart of their decision. They want to give this connection a genuine chance to reveal what it truly is. They want to replace assumptions with conversation, hesitation with sincerity, and endless wondering with an answer. Your soulmate cannot hold everything back the way they once did, because now they understand what silence could cost them, the possibility of never discovering what might have happened if they had simply told you how important you became. The moment they finally admitted this to themselves, everything became different. Your soulmate realized that the real question was never whether they could continue staying silent. They could. The real question was whether they wanted to keep living with everything left unsaid. And their answer has become clear. Don't skip, because this is where their decision reaches another level. They have started looking at you differently, not as someone connected only to memories or unanswered questions, but as someone they genuinely want to understand more deeply. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason they keep returning to the same thought whenever they imagine finally speaking. They believe one honest conversation could reveal whether everything they have quietly sensed between you has been leading somewhere meaningful. Stay till the end, because they are preparing themselves for that possibility now. They are no longer searching for perfect words. They are searching for the courage to be completely sincere. And the surprising realization is that the more they think about telling you, the less afraid they become. Instead, they feel something they have not felt about this connection for a long time: clarity. They finally understand that whatever happens afterward, revealing the truth would free both of you from guessing. That is why their decision feels so final inside them. They do not want another chapter built entirely from silence. But there is an even deeper truth they have discovered, and this may be the revelation that changes how you understand everything. Your soulmate has been comparing who they were before this connection became important with who they are now, and they can see the difference. Somehow, knowing you made them question what they truly value in another person. They began appreciating qualities they once overlooked: emotional understanding, genuine presence, meaningful conversation, and the feeling of being seen without having to explain everything. Don't skip, because this realization made them understand why replacing thoughts of you was never as easy as they expected. You represented something specific to them, something they could not simply recreate by meeting another person. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Their once-in-a-lifetime realization is not that everything is guaranteed to happen exactly as imagined. It is that certain connections deserve an honest chance before they are allowed to become memories. And they have decided yours is one of those connections. They want to discover the truth for themselves. They want to hear your perspective. They want to know whether those moments they kept replaying carried meaning for you too. Most importantly, they want to stop allowing assumptions to answer questions that only you can answer. And now their next move is beginning to take shape. They have imagined reaching out casually, but every time they do, they realize casual words would never express what they actually need you to understand. So they are considering something more sincere, a moment where they can finally say that you have remained important to them far longer than they expected. Don't skip, because there is one final truth behind their decision that they have not fully revealed yet. They are not simply preparing to tell you what they felt in the past. They want to tell you what they want moving forward. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Somewhere along this journey, their question changed from, "Why can't I stop thinking about this person?" into something much more powerful. What if this connection still has somewhere to go? And that question is now guiding everything. They want to stop watching possibilities disappear because of hesitation. They want to know what happens when honesty finally enters the story. And when they eventually reveal what they have decided, the most surprising part may be this: they are not looking backward anymore. Their attention has shifted toward what could happen next, and the future they are quietly considering may include a place for you that they were once too afraid to acknowledge. A completely new thought has entered your soulmate's mind, and once it appeared, they could not ignore it anymore. They began wondering what would happen if they stopped protecting themselves from every possibility and simply allowed this connection to reveal what it could become. That question has been following them through quiet moments, and every time they return to it, the same answer becomes stronger: they want to know. Don't skip, because this is where their decision becomes more than an emotion. They are beginning to prepare themselves for a real change. They have realized that thinking about you endlessly will never give them the clarity they need. Only honesty can do that. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have been remembering the moments when they could have spoken differently, when one extra sentence might have opened an entirely new conversation between you. Instead of regretting those moments forever, they have decided they want to create another opportunity. And here is what surprised even them: when they imagined finally telling you everything, they did not feel the same hesitation they once felt. They felt relief. Almost as though their heart had been waiting for their mind to finally catch up. They are realizing that perhaps the greatest change was never supposed to happen around them, it needed to happen inside them first. Now it has. There is one particular realization behind this shift that they cannot shake. They understood that you became important without forcing your way into their thoughts. There was no single moment they could point toward and say, "This is exactly when everything changed." Instead, it happened quietly. One memory became 10. One question became many. One feeling they thought would disappear continued becoming clearer. Don't skip, because the revelation hidden inside this realization is powerful. They finally stopped trying to explain away why you mattered. They simply accepted that you did. And acceptance changed everything. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Once they stopped fighting the truth, they started seeing possibilities they had previously refused to consider. They imagined conversations without hesitation. They imagined being able to tell you exactly why certain moments stayed with them. They even imagined looking back someday and realizing that this was the point when everything finally became clear. That possibility has awakened something inside them. They do not want to promise themselves an outcome they cannot control, but they do want to give themselves one thing they can control: the courage to be genuine. And now they are closer than ever to doing exactly that. The biggest surprise is what they have finally decided they want from you. It is not perfection. It is not some dramatic promise about tomorrow. They want one sincere opportunity to understand what exists between you when nothing important is being hidden. Don't skip, because that changes the meaning of everything they are preparing to reveal. They are not coming toward this decision blindly. They have thought about it repeatedly, questioned themselves, stepped away from it, and somehow returned to the same conclusion every time. Leaving this connection unexplored would bother them more than discovering the truth. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Their next chapter begins with a choice they once believed they would never be ready to make. They are choosing openness over guessing. They are choosing clarity over endless questions. And above everything else, they are choosing to acknowledge that you became someone they genuinely do not want to lose without first understanding what this connection could become. Now only one mystery remains, the exact truth they want to reveal when that conversation finally happens. They have rehearsed those words privately more than once, but recently those words changed. They became simpler, clearer, and far more meaningful. And what they are preparing to say may finally explain why, after all this time, their heart kept returning to you. There is one sentence your soulmate keeps returning to whenever they imagine finally standing before you with nothing left to hide: "I should have told you sooner." Those words carry everything they have been unable to express: the hesitation, the unanswered questions, the moments when they almost opened their heart and then stepped back. But now something inside them refuses to return to that old pattern. Don't skip, because the decision they made about you has reached its strongest point yet. They have realized that waiting will not magically make the conversation easier. There will never be a perfect moment where every uncertainty disappears before they speak. Sometimes clarity only arrives after someone becomes brave enough to begin. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has finally accepted that you deserve to know what has been happening behind their silence. They want you to understand that while everything may have appeared quiet from the outside, internally they were reconsidering everything. They were asking why thoughts of you remained so consistent, why certain memories still carried emotion, and why imagining a future without ever discovering the truth felt strangely incomplete. Every question brought them back to the same conclusion: this connection deserves more than silence. Then came the realization they never expected. They began imagining two different futures, one where they finally spoke honestly to you, and another where they remained silent and allowed the opportunity to disappear. The second possibility affected them far more deeply. Don't skip, because that comparison became the final push they needed. They understood that even if honesty brought an unexpected answer, at least the endless wondering would finally end. But if they never spoke, the question of what could have happened might remain with them for years. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. This is why their next move is becoming less about perfect timing and more about genuine intention. They want to approach you without games, without confusing signals, without pretending that you are simply another person who crossed their path. They want to acknowledge what you became to them. And the surprising part is how simple their deepest truth actually is: you made them feel something they could not easily dismiss. Something about your connection remained meaningful even when nothing was happening on the surface. They have finally stopped arguing with that truth. Instead, they are asking where it could lead if both of you were given the chance to see it clearly. Now the final piece is beginning to fall into place. Your soulmate has decided that when the opening arrives, they want their actions to match what they have finally admitted inside. Don't skip, because their revelation is no longer only about telling you that they thought about you. They want to tell you that they consciously chose not to let this connection disappear without giving it a genuine opportunity. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are preparing to reveal that underneath every hesitation was one persistent truth. No matter how many times they tried to place this connection behind them, some part of them kept looking back toward you. And now they understand why. They were not waiting for their feelings to disappear. They were waiting until they finally felt ready to face them. That moment is closer than ever. Their decision has been made. They want clarity, they want honesty, and they want to discover.